You are working in silence. No applause, no proof. Just you and the work. And lately, you've been wondering if it even matters. I know that feeling. The weight of invisible effort. The doubt that creeps in at 3 in the morning when the world is asleep and you're still building something no one can see yet. Here's what I need you to understand. Seeds grow in darkness. Not despite it, because of it. I am Onyx. I have watched countless Capricorns break at this exact moment. Not because they failed, because they couldn't see the roots. Years ago, I worked with a Capricorn who built an empire. But before the empire, there were 3 years of silence. 3 years where no one knew his name. He told me, I almost quit. I thought I was invisible. He wasn't. He was germinating. If you feel invisible right now, if you feel like your effort is disappearing into a void, listen closely. The ancients called this time Imbolc, the moment when winter's grip loosens, but spring hasn't arrived. The in-between, the dark soil. Capricorn is the mountain, but mountains aren't built in a day. They're built grain by grain in the deep silence of geological time. Right now, the sun is moving through this exact energy. You are in the root phase, not the flower phase, the root phase. But here's what most people miss about darkness. Darkness isn't the absence of growth. Darkness is the condition for growth. Let me show you why. When a seed is planted, it doesn't immediately reach for the sun. First, it breaks open. The shell cracks. The tender root pushes down into the dark, seeking water and minerals, seeking foundation. This is not failure. This is design. Saturn, your ruling planet, works the same way. Saturn doesn't reward flash. Saturn rewards depth. The deeper the roots, the taller the tree. The longer the silence, the stronger the structure. The ancients honored this moment. Imbolc, the festival of Brigid. Not the harvest, not the bloom, the stirring. The first whisper of life beneath frozen ground. They didn't celebrate what they could see. They celebrated what they could feel. You are in that moment right now. Carl Jung said, there is no coming to consciousness without pain. Your invisibility right now, that's not punishment. That's initiation. The breaking open. The descent into the dark soil of the self. Here's the truth most Capricorns won't accept. You fear invisibility because you equate visibility with worth. But the world sees the mountain. It doesn't see the tectonic plates shifting beneath. It doesn't see the pressure, the heat, the slow grinding force that builds stone. You think you're behind. You think everyone else is ahead. That's the ego talking. The ego needs proof, applause, metrics. The ego is starving for external validation. The soul knows better. The soul knows the work is happening underground. And what happens underground determines everything above. This week, pay attention to your dreams. Capricorns in the root phase often dream of tunnels, basements, digging. That's your subconscious showing you the work is real. It's just not visible yet. Notice when you feel the urge to show your work before it's ready. That urge, that's fear of invisibility. Resist it. Guard the seed. Marcus Aurelius said, The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. Your invisibility is the way. But here's the danger. If you dig up the seed to check if it's growing, you kill it. The hardest part of building in darkness isn't the work itself. It's the doubt. The voice that whispers, maybe I'm delusional. Maybe this is going nowhere. That voice, that's not intuition. That's the ego, starving for external validation. And Capricorn's ego is loud when it's hungry. Saturn, your ruling planet, doesn't operate on your timeline. He operates on nature's timeline. Roots first, shoots later. Always. The Hermit card in Tarot shows this perfectly. The figure, alone on a mountain, holding a lantern in the dark. That lantern isn't for others to see you. It's for you, to see your own path when everyone else is blind. The ancients called this stage nigredo, the blackening. In alchemy, everything breaks down. It looks like death, but it's not death. It's composting. You're turning pain into soil. Here's what you do this week. Every morning, before you check your phone, write one sentence. I trust the unseen work. Don't analyze it, just write it. You're training the ego to sit down. Second, track your progress privately. Not for Instagram, for you. A journal entry, a photo no one sees. Evidence for yourself that the work is real. Third, when someone asks, what have you been up to? Practice saying, building something quiet. Don't elaborate. Protect the seed. Because if you broadcast your work too early, you invite opinions. Opinions are weeds. They choke the seed before it's strong enough to withstand judgment. If you measure your roots against someone else's flowers, you'll always feel behind. Flowers are seasonal. Roots are eternal. But there's one more thing you need to know about this darkness. Something the ancients understood and modern culture forgot. Success loves silence. Not because success is shy, because silence is the womb of creation. Modern culture glorifies the announcement, the launch, the reveal, the grand entrance. But the ancients knew the real power is in the preparation. Bridget, the goddess of Imbolc, was a keeper of the sacred flame, not a wildfire, a hearth fire, tended in private, protected from wind. She understood what you're learning now. When you work in silence, you protect your vision from dilution. Every time you explain your dream to someone who doesn't understand, you lose a little bit of its power. They don't mean to steal it, but their doubt, their skepticism, their helpful advice, it seeps in, and suddenly you're building their version of your vision. Not yours. The Hermetic principle says, as above, so below. What you guard in the inner world manifests in the outer world. What you scatter in the inner world scatters in the outer world. Think about the phoenix. The phoenix doesn't announce its rebirth. It doesn't live stream the burning. It burns in private. The world only sees the flight. They don't see the ashes. They don't see the heat. They don't see the pain. And they don't need to. Here's the test. Think back to your biggest wins, the moments you're most proud of. Were they preceded by loud declarations or quiet, relentless work? Most Capricorns will find the same pattern. Their best results came from the silent seasons, the seasons no one saw. This week, resist the urge to update people. Notice how much energy you save. That energy, channel it back into the work. If you feel lonely in the silence, that's not a sign you're on the wrong path. That's a sign you're on the rare path. Mountains are lonely. That's why most people stay in the valley. But here's the danger. If you keep seeking external validation, you'll become addicted to it. And addictions make you weak. Capricorn's strength is self-reliance, the ability to stand alone, to trust your own compass when the world is screaming directions. The world will try to rush you. Show us results. Prove yourself. What do you have to show for all this time? Don't. The seed that sprouts too early dies in the frost. The Japanese have a word, kaizen, continuous, invisible improvement, the kind that compounds over decades, not the kind that trends for a week. That's your path. And if you walk it, if you honor the silence, if you protect the seed, the roots are growing. You are not behind. You are not failing. You are germinating. And that is the most important phase. We started in the dark, you feeling invisible, doubting the work, wondering if anyone sees, if anyone cares. And I told you, seeds grow in darkness. Now you know why. The darkness isn't your enemy. It's your laboratory. The place where roots form. The place where transformation happens away from prying eyes. You are building a mountain, grain by grain, in geological silence. And mountains don't apologize for their pace. Soon, the sun moves fully into Aquarius. The energy will shift from building to liberating, from discipline to innovation. But you can't liberate what isn't built. The roots you're growing now, they're the foundation for the freedom coming next. So don't rush the process. Don't dig up the seed to check if it's alive. Trust the dark. Seeds grow in darkness. Success loves silence. The roots are growing. You just can't see them yet. Even I have moments when I question if the work matters. Then I remember, mountains aren't built in a day, and I am building a mountain. The ancients lit candles at Imbolc, not to banish the dark, to honor it. Light a candle this week, not for results, for the work itself. You clicked on this video for a reason. Maybe you needed permission to keep going. Maybe you needed someone to say, I see you, even in the dark. You are not alone in the void. Look in the mirror, not at your achievements, at your eyes. Do you see the strength there? That's the root. That's the mountain. Keep building. The seed is growing. Trust the dark.